So we're back at Megiddo again. Now, I said to you that the so-called Solomonic stables are not Solomonic. They're much later now. The so-called governor's residence is not Solomonic anymore. The Iron Age gate is not Solomonic anymore. That's all much later. What is Solomonic is the late Bronze Age levels down here, which were excavated right through. In fact, the palace has been dug right away. But what survives is this magnificent gateway. Now that is a Solomonic gate. Here it is. Here's the courtyard. This is coming in from the outside, and this is the gateway leading into the palace. There's a flight of steps leading into the palace entrance. That's the Iron Age gate, which is not Solomonic. That's the sign which you must pull down next time you're there that says Solomonic Gateway. Just dig it up and move it down and plant it here. Look at the gate. We have ashlar stones, beautiful masonry. I want you to notice something very special about it. It has 1, 2, 3 layers of ashlar stones built on top of each other, and then there's what we call the relieving layer of cedar beam. Now this is used to allow the wall to move in an earthquake, to sway. It gives you a little bit of flexibility. And if you read your story about Solomon's building works, you will see precisely that form of architecture in use. It says that the wall of the temple and the palaces was built of 3 layers of cut stone and a layer of cedar beams. You can see it here. This is the only time in biblical archaeology you will see that type of wall construction at this particular time in history. That is a Solomonic wall. Not the rubbish you saw earlier on with the field stones. That wasn't Solomonic. That's Solomonic. And in the palace of that city, City 8 at Megiddo, the late Bronze Age city, there was a magnificent hoard of ivory. And I'm sure you've even seen this in some of the books you've read. This is supposedly a Canaanite ivory plaque. Oh, no, it's not. This is a Solomonic plaque. There is King Solomon, sitting on his ivory throne, protected on either side by winged lions. Do you remember the text? And he's been served a drinking cup by an Egyptian princess who carries an Egyptian lotus in her hand, and she's offering the lotus to Solomon because she's an Egyptian princess. It's the symbol of Egypt being offered to King Solomon. And behind, what do we have? A psalmist. And all around the king we have doves. What do doves represent? Peace. The name of Solomon? Peace. Notice the hat that the queen wears is not dissimilar to that of Nefertiti, because it's the same era. So Horemheb is almost certainly the Pharaoh who gave his daughter to Solomon as the Queen of Israel. Now, do you remember what happened to Solomon's queen, the Egyptian princess? Well, she was sent to Jerusalem, and then there's this very important passage in Chronicles. Solomon moved Pharaoh's daughter up from the city of David to the palace which he had built for her. And the reason for this is because she's a foreign princess, she worships foreign gods, and if she were to live in the palace of the king or by the temple, she would pollute it with the worship of the foreign gods. So once the diplomatic marriage has taken place, Solomon shoves her up away from the city, up from the city in her own palace where she can worship her own gods. Now that's the important thing. Up from the city. Well, here we are. Here's Jerusalem. That's the city of David. There's the Temple Mount. And that is up from the city of David, up there. In a diagram you see the city of David, Temple Mount. There is up from the city of David. On the Damascus Road, the Nablus Road, the Shechem Road. So you go out the Damascus Gate and you go up the hill, Nablus Road. You walk about 300 yards and you get to that. This is the monastery of Saint Etienne. This is the École Biblique. These are the people who translated the Qumran scrolls, the French monastery.